Good morning, students. We have seen till third law of thermodynamics. Now we'll go to the next residual entropy. Also, we have seen what was called law of thermodynamics. It tells us that at absolute zero, entropy of all perfectly crystalline solids will be zero. But in practical, when we are looking, there are some solids which has not zero entropy, and that entropy we call it as residual entropy. Now we will see what is absolute entropy. What was absolute entropy? Entropy change of a substance taken from 0 Kelvin to the desired temperature. Suppose if you want to calculate the entropy change at a particular temperature, for example 298 of a solid, change in entropy from 298 and 0 Kelvin, that is S at 298 Kelvin minus S at 0 Kelvin is what is known as absolute entropy. So when we are calculating the absolute entropy, we have to consider that the solid that is at 0 Kelvin. Then we have to apply the heat to solid to become 298 Kelvin. So till that, what are the changes occurring inside the solid we should consider. For example, if you take case of sulfur we take, what happened is at 0 it will be in the solid. When we heat it to a particular temperature, the solid will get heated. At a particular temperature, what happened is it will be converting to one crystalline form to another, then it will again get heated. So we have to consider all the three changes, and whatever be the entropies associated with the changes we have to take. Okay, now we'll see how we will calculate absolute entropy. So the entropy change of a substance taken from 0 to the given temperature is known as absolute entropy. So delta S is equal to S at the desired temperature minus S at the 0 degree Kelvin. If you consider for a very small change, the entropy change at constant pressure can be written as ds is equal to Cp by T into dt. This we have calculated using second law. Okay, for a perfectly crystalline solid at 0 Kelvin, S is equal to 0. So if we integrate the above equation, what it will happen? ds integral S at 0 Kelvin to S at T Kelvin is equal to integral 0 to T Cp dt by T. And since for a perfectly crystalline solid S is equal to 0, when we integrate, how it comes? S within the limit S is equal to 0 to S is equal to T. So S is equal to T minus S is equal to 0 will come. That term is 0. So we can just write it as St. That means entropy at the particular temperature. That is actually the absolute entropy. That is equal to 0 to T Cp dt by T. We can write it as d ln T. And St is the absolute entropy of a crystalline solid at a temperature T Kelvin. So this is the one way we will get it. St is equal to 0 to T Cp d ln T. Now how we can evaluate this value is, we should measure Cp at various temperature from 0 to the desired temperature. That is, for example, when you take from 0, you have to take 0, then we will take a regular interval 20 Kelvin, we will measure what is the heat capacity, 40 Kelvin, what is the heat capacity, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. Like that we will calculate for regular intervals of the temperature heat capacity. Then we will draw a graph. How will we draw the graph is, L and T should be along the x-axis and Cp should be along the y-axis. So you will get a graph shown in the figure. That will be the shape. If you take the total area of that graph, that area will be equal to the integral 0 to T Cp d ln T or Cp dt by T. That value you can get from the graph. The area under the curve gives directly what is known as ST or the integral part, and that is the absolute entropy. But when we do this, there is a limitation. 0 Kelvin attainable is practically difficult. It is practically difficult to attain 0 degree Kelvin. So what we will do is that we will take heat capacity measurement from a lowest temperature which we are able to take. Usually it will be up to 15 degree Kelvin. So instead of not starting from 0 Kelvin, we'll start from 15 degree Kelvin. So 15 degree, maybe 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, like that we will take the heat capacities. இப்போ graph draw பண்ணும்போது what we will do is அதில் மட்டும் அந்த 15 in it will be starting. So we just extrapolate it and we will take the graph, then area will be calculated. That is one method. Otherwise what we will do is that we will split that integral expression into two. That is 1, 0 to a temperature which you used to denote by T star, CPD ln T, plus T star to T, CPD ln T. This T star, how will we take is, we will take a temperature that is between 0 and 15 Kelvin. It should be greater than 0 and it should be less than 15 degree Kelvin. So equation is ST is equal to 0 to T star CPD ln T plus T star T CPD ln T, or it will be, can write it as CPDT divided by T. Now at very low temperature there is a law known as Debye theory of heat or Debye T cube law. Thus, according to this law, at very low temperature, heat capacity of a substance is equal to alpha into T raised to T cube. Both the heat capacities you can take. It can be Cp or it can be Cv. Cp is equal to Cv is equal to alpha T cube, where alpha is the empirical constant. So when we substitute that in the above expression, we will take the first integral alone. So what happens? 0 to T star alpha T cube, Cp will become alpha T cube dt by T. So the T and T cube, 1 T will be cancelling, and when we integrate it, the answer will be 1 by 3 alpha T cube. So that will be the entropy, or you can calculate if we know the temperature at which we are starting. For example, if we started from 15 degree, that will be T. So 1 by 3 alpha, it's an empirical constant. That constant value substitute pannita, the temperature raised to 3 பண்ணும்போது we will get the first part. Second part, as usual, integration very well, usual plot in will calculate, that is T cube to T will do and we will calculate. Okay, and therefore if you this way we can use it for calculating absolute entropy of solid, liquid and gas. Absolute entropy of solid at TF Kelvin, you can write it as 1 by 3 alpha T cube plus integral T star to TF Cp by T dt. That is how we will be calculating. Now before going into the liquid, we will see for gas. When you consider the case of a gas at 25 degree under atmospheric pressure, we are asked to calculate, suppose. So when we calculate entropy of a gas, what is the absolute entropy? Absolute entropy is the entropy change at 298 Kelvin to 0 Kelvin. Okay, so when we take the case of a gas and when we are heating it, it involves the following process. What were the processes? First, at 0 degree the gas will be in the solid state. So first what happened, and the solid വന്ന് heat ആകണം. Heat ആയി ഒരു particular temperature, and the temperature പേര് melting point, அங்கே வரைக்கும் அது solid ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். Once it reaches the melting point, and the temperature constant ஆயிருந்துட்டு full solid and liquid ஆகிட்டு convert ஆகும். திருப்பி ஃபுல்லாகிட்டு liquid ஆகிட்டு convert ஆகியா நம்ம திருப்பி heat கொடுத்துட்டே இருந்தால what happened is அந்த liquid வந்து heat absorb பண்ணி அது hot ஆகிட்டே போகும். அது எவ்வளோ போகும்? till the temperature, boiling temperature, அது வரைக்கும் அந்த liquid heat ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். அந்த boiling temperature ஆகும்போது what happened, அந்த liquid வந்து gas ஆகிட்டு convert ஆகும். and the temperature remains constant. As full and the liquid gas side convert ஆகும்போது again heating of the gas will take place to 25 degree means 298 Kelvin. So எவ்வளோ process நடக்கும் heating of solid, physical transformation from solid to liquid, heating of liquid, physical transformation of liquid to gas, heating of gas to the desired temperature. So absolute entropy, if you take, it will be the sum of all the entropy changes happening during these processes, or it is the entropy change of all the process happening during the heating of the gas from 0 to 298 Kelvin. Adu mattu you have to remember. So absolute entropy is equal to entropy during heating of solid plus entropy change during conversion from solid to liquid plus entropy change of heating of liquid plus entropy change during conversion of liquid to gas and entropy change plus entropy change during heating of gas. In each one எடுத்தால heating of solid எடுக்கும்போது two portions இருக்கு. What were the portions? 0 to T half, 0 to T star, T star to the fusion temperature. So 0 to T star எடுக்கும்போது 1/3 alpha T star plus integral T star to T Cp dt by T. In a physical transformation நடக்கும்போது entropy change வந்து molar heat of entropy divided by the temperature at which it happens. அப்போ what happened? It is delta HF divided by TF. In heating of liquid எடுக்கும்போது what is heating of liquid? Again integral you should take TF to till the temperature it will convert to gas, that is TB Cp dt by T. Then in physical transformation that will be delta H V divided by TV. Then again integral TB to the desired temperature Cp dt by T. So if you take the absolute entropy of a gas, it will be equal to the sum of 6 process, which is 1/3 alpha T cube plus integral T star to TF Cp dt by T plus delta HF by TF plus integral TF to TB Cp dt by T plus delta HV divided by TB plus integral TB to 298 Kelvin Cp T by dt by T. So this will be the one. அது மட்டும் ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும். You have to consider all the process happening 0 ன்னு 298 Kelvin வரைக்கும் ஹீட் பண்ணும்போது என்னென்ன ப்ராசஸ் நடக்குதோ எல்லா ப்ராசஸும் யூ ஹாவ் டு கன்சிடர். அதே மாதிரி சப்போஸ் அந்த சோலிட் ஆக்கும்போது அந்த சோலிட்னு ஒரு கிறிஸ்டலைன் ஸ்டேட் இருந்தால் அந்த சோலிட் ஸ்டேட்டில் வாட் ஹேப்பன் 1/3 alpha T cube plus integral T star to TF Cp dt by T. அந்த TF வந்து டிரான்சிஷன் டெம்பரேச்சர் இருக்கும். ஓகே, அங்கே வந்து டெல்டா HT டிவைடட் பை TT வரும் ப்ளஸ் திருப்பி அந்த TT டு TF வந்து கேல்குலேட் பண்ணும். ஓகே, அது கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ண வேண்டாம். என்னென்ன ப்ராசஸ் நடக்குதோ எல்லா ப்ராசஸிൻ്റെ என்ட்ரோபி சேஞ்ச் யூ ஹாவ் டு கன்சிடர். ஓகே, ഇനി ലിക്വിഡ് എടുത്താൽ 0 to ടേക്ക് ഫോർ ബോയിലിംഗ് പോയിന്റ് വരേക്കും വി വിൽ ടേക്ക്. സോ അത് വരുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻഡ് ഇസ് ഒരു ലിക്വിഡ് എടുത്ത് ഹീറ്റ് பண்ணும்போது വാട്ട് ആർ ദ ചേഞ്ചസ് 0 to a temperature that is T star വരേക്കും we'll apply Debye heat theorem. Then we use heat capacity measurement, then physical change and solid to liquid திருப்பி அந்த heating process. So it is equal to 1/3 alpha T cube plus integral T star to TF Cp dt by T plus delta HF by TF plus integral TF to TB Cp dt by T. Okay. Now next topic, what was the thing we have seen? It was partial molar properties. When we studied initially, we studied two types of properties. One was extensive property and one was intensive property. A property which depend on the quantity of the matter is the extensive property, and which do not depend on the quantity of the matter is intensive property. So when we take the thermodynamic terms, what we have learned: enthalpy, entropy, internal energy, work function, free energy, all are extensive property. What is its specialty is it depends upon the amount of the matter. 1 gram എടുത്താലും 2 gram എടുത്താലും there will be change in the property. If you do the internal energy വന്ന് 1 gram substance എടുത്താൽ 2 gram same substance എടുത്താൽ there will be difference. Other than extensive property. ഇനി നമ്മൾ 2 types of system study பண்ணி ഒന്ന് വന്ന് open system where the system can exchange both energy and matter with the surrounding, and second one is a system which can exchange only energy not matter. That 2 types. And when we calculated first law, second law, all the things from second law and all the different terms, entropy, enthalpy, etc., we have considered for a closed system. Imagine that we took an arbitrary state that where the composition of the system remains closed, and we took it as a function of 2 properties. Do you remember? E is equal to function of temperature and pressure. We didn't consider about the number of moles of constituent. Now when we take the case of partial molar property, we are going to take an open system. So open system means it can exchange both energy and matter with the surrounding. So if you take a mixture, or if you take a component which has I number of constituent in it, let the number of each moles of each constituent be n1, n2, n3 up to ni. That will affect the properties. So we have to consider here the number of moles of each constituent. Let T and P be the temperature and pressure. So if you take any extensive property, it can be an oleum, it can be internal energy, it can be work function or free energy. We are going to take it as a function of temperature, pressure, and number of moles of the various components. So how we can represent it? X is equal to F of T P N1 into N3 up to Ni. Okay. Where if you take N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus Ni, you can write it as capital N. In small change in temperature, pressure, and number of moles, what will be the change in property of X? It will be dx. And we have to apply partial differentiation. Adu vannu it is mathematical operation. Partial differentiation பண்ணும்போது என்ன பண்ணும்? First ஒரு property எடுத்து we will differentiate it. Okay. So if we are taking temperature, and the property temperature was differentiate பண்ணிட்டு, assuming that பாக்கி எல்லா properties pressure n1, n2, n3 up to ni constant. திருப்பி என்ன பண்ணும்? Next quantity we will differentiate. That is x in we differentiate with pressure. Appo temperature all other properties remains constant. Okay. Ini enna pannum? We used to denote by differentiate by n1, that is number of moles of component 1. Appo temperature, pressure n2, n3 up to ni will be remaining constant. Okay, so what we will see the expression, dx is equal to dou x by dou t at constant pressure n1, n2, n3 up to ni into dt plus dou x by dou p at constant temperature n1, n2, n3 up to ni into dp plus dou x by dou n1 at constant temperature pressure n2, n3 up to ni into dn1 plus dou x by dou n2 tp n1 n3 ni into dn2 plus etc. plus the last components number of moles, that is dou x dou ni at constant temperature pressure n1 n2 etc. up to ni minus 1 into dni. This is how we will apply the partial differentiation to that expression. and in that the quantities which we have taken by differentiating with the number of moles, that is dou x by dou n1 or dou x by dou ni or dou x by n2, keeping temperature, pressure and other components constant, that quantities or that expression is what is known as partial molar component, okay, partial molar properties of the particular component. If we have done by dou n1, it is of the 1. Dou n2 taken means it is of the component 2. Ni taken means ith component, and we used to represent it as xi bar for ith component. One first component x1 bar, second component x2 bar. Okay. Thus, for the ith component in a system, partial molar internal energy is equal to dou V by dou Ni at constant Tp, N1, N2, etc. We can represent it as Ei bar. If you take enthalpy, dou H by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure, N1, N2, etc. and that we can represent by Hi bar. Partial molar volume dou V, dou Ni, Tp, N1, N2 at constant, and it is equal to Vi bar. And in the partial molar property, what is the most important one is free energy. That we call it as chemical potential. That we will be calling it as chemical potential. Okay, and that is represented at Gi bar, or we can represent it as mu I. So Gi bar is equal to mu I is equal to dou G by dou Ni at constant Tp, N1, N2 up to Ni minus 1. What is it meaning is, it is just this meaning only, or a lot of substance or constituents or a mixture eduthala free but anything nammal change pannana in the state in we are changing from state 1 to state 2. appo vannu each component in the contribution and the free energy ku oru change varuvilla state 1 to state 2 varumbod, and the change vannu each one contribution, first one in the contribution then chemical potential of first component, second one in the contribution then chemical potential of the G2 bar varna, அதுதான் இந்த மீனிங். ஓகே, இப்போ வந்து யூ ஆர் உங்கள் வந்து உங்களோட கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இண்டிவிஜுவல் வைஸ் யூ ஆர் கான்ட்ரிபியூட்டிங் டு த காலேஜ் ஃபார் சம்திங் அண்ட் இண்டிவிஜுவல் வைஸ் எவ்வளவு வரும் அதுதான் தட் இஸ் நான் அஸ் கெமிக்கல் பொட்டன்ஷியல். இனி அதோட டெஃபினிஷன் வந்து எடுக்கும்போது த பார்ஷியல் molar free energy or chemical potential of a given substance is the change in free energy of a system at constant temperature and pressure when 1 mole of any constituent is added to such a large quantity of system that the added mole will not affect the composition of the system. ഒരു ലാർജ് ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ 1000 liters of mixture നമ്മൾ എടുക്കണം, அதில் N1 ஒரு மோல் നമ്മൾ ஆட் பண்ணியால் அங்கே வந்து ஃப்ரீ எனர்ஜி சேஞ்ச் இருக்கும். அந்த ஃப்ரீ எனர்ஜி சேஞ்ச் தான் கெமிக்கல் பொட்டன்ஷியல் ஆஃப் கம்போனன்ட் 1. பட் டோட்டலாக எடுத்தால் வாட் ஹேப்பன் இஸ் அவர் காம்போசிஷன் வந்து கான்ஸ்டன்டாக இருக்குது. இப்போ 1000 ml to 1 ml ஆட் பண்ணியால் இட் வில் நாட் தேர் வில் நாட் பி மச் சேஞ்ச் இன் த காம்போசிஷன். ஒரு மால் ஆட் பண்ணும்போது அவ்வளோ சேஞ்ச் இருக்காது. ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஒன். பட் அங்கே காம்போசிஷனில் அவ்வளோ சேஞ்ச் இருக்காது, பட் ஃப்ரீ எனர்ஜியில் சேஞ்ச் இருக்கும். அந்த ஃப்ரீ எனர்ஜி கேல்குலேட் பண்ணுறது தான் வாட் இஸ் known as chemical potential. Now derivations and all we have already seen. This is just a recap of what we finished only. So next is Gibbs-Duhem equation. Gibbs-Duhem equation is an expression which gives the changes in chemical potential of a substance or mixture of a substance in a multi-component system in terms of changes of temperature and pressure. Different components in the component 1, component 2 in the chemical potential change with respect to temperature and pressure is given by an equation which is Gibbs-Duhem equation. And what is it is 0 is equal to sigma Ni d mu I. This is very important equation. 0 is equal to sigma Ni d mu I. Sigma shows that it is the sum. Okay, so we'll take for a binary system. When you take a binary system, only two components are there. So we can write the Gibbs-Duhem equation as 0 is equal to n1 d mu 1 plus n2 d mu 2. What is mu 1? Dou x divided by dou n1 at constant temperature, pressure at n2. So adana vanna differentiate பண்ணும்போது d mu 1 வரும். Okay, அதே மாதிரி mu 2 is equal to dou g divided by dou n2 at constant temperature, pressure and n1. Then variation of chemical potential with pressure and temperature. With pressure, the rate of change of chemical potential with pressure of any component of the system is equal to partial molar volume, and rate of change of chemical potential with temperature of any component is equal to partial molar entropy. That is dou mu I by dou P at constant temperature and N is equal to Vi bar, and dou mu I and dou T at constant pressure and N is equal to Si bar. Then now the next is fugacity and activity. What was fugacity? It was introduced by the American scientist G.N. Lewis for representing the behavior of real gases. We have studied gases based on ideal gas. So when we take the real gas, there are certain properties which are different from the ideal gas. So ideal gas represent panna nalle adinte behavior solla vendi use panni term than fugacity. It is a fictitious pressure. It's only pressure but for the real gas and denoted by F. அதுக்கு meaning வந்து Latin, it's a Latin word which means escaping tendency. So if you take for an ideal gas, there was an expression G is equal to G star nRT ln P, where G is free energy at a particular temperature, G star is the free energy under standard condition, N is the number of moles, R is universal gas constant, T is the temperature, and P is the pressure of ideal gas. If you change the P to another term F, that is fugacity. That is the expression will become G is equal to G star nRT ln F. G star is the free energy of real gas at unit fugacity. That is when F is equal to 1, that nRT ln F will become 0. So G will be equal to G star. So that is what is G star or standard condition. So in the equation வந்து integrate பண்ணும்போது we will get an expression delta G is equal to nRT F2 divided by F1. Now fugacity, ideal gas fugacity எடுத்தால what happened is fugacity is equal to pressure. So F by P is equal to 1. Fugacity is equal to pressure. Real gas it is not, F is not equal to P. At 0 pressure F is equal to P. Otherwise it is not equal to P. அதுக்கு சேஞ்ச் இருக்குது. அதுக்கு ரீசன் வந்து இன்டர்மோலிகுலர், நம்ம when we studied idea gas gaseous gas about gas molecules, we have seen that we assumed ideal gas in such a way that there will not be any interactions between them and no force of attraction. So what is the pressure is, each time a molecule collide with the walls of the vessel, what is the force exerted is pressure. So அதுக்கு வந்து அந்த interaction இல்லாதனால it will be the one we consider for ideal gas. But when you consider for the real gas, there is interaction. அதனால வந்து அந்த pressure வந்து there will be some less. We cannot take the force completely. So there will be some less or we have to reduce some force. So that is why F is not equal to P. Then physical significance எடுத்தால you can say that it is the escaping tendency of a substance from the existing state. எல்லா சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ் எடுத்தாலும் அதுக்கு அந்த ஸ்டேட்டில் இருக்க it will not be interested. அதுக்கு வந்து have a tendency to change to another state. For example, இப்போ water and water vapor எடுத்தாலும் water molecule உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். ஒரு water bottle close பண்ணி if you are keeping, after 2-3 days you can see that droplets of water will be on the top. Half filled bottle எடுத்து பார்த்தா தெரியும். So அதுக்கு meaning what? Since it is closed and the water வந்து water vapor ஆகிட்டு it is going, but அதுக்கு வெளியே போக முடியாததுனால it is sticking back, condensing back. பட் அப்படியே இருந்தாலும் it will escape to vapor. அதே மாதிரி வேப்பருக்கு வந்து have a tendency to come back to water. So அந்த escaping tendency தான் we call it as fugacity. இனி activity and activity coefficient, அதுவும் வந்து லூயிஸ் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணிய டேர்ம் தான். absolute value fugacity, any quantities, free energy எடுத்தாலும் internal energy எடுத்தாலும் correct value we are not able to calculate. அதுக்கு வந்து he has introduced activity or relative fugacity, அது small a வச்சு represent பண்ணும். what is it is fugacity calculate பண்ணும்போது ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ ഇരിക്കുന്ന സബ്സ്റ്റൻസിനെ ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് അല്ല റെഫറൻസ് സ്റ്റേറ്റുമായിട്ട് കമ്പയർ പണിത്താൻ വി വിൽ കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ഇറ്റ്. സോ ദാറ്റ് കമ്പാരിസൺ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ ഈസ് ഈക്വൽ ടു എഫ് ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ എഫ് സ്റ്റാർ, വേർ എഫ് സ്റ്റാർ ഈസ് ദ ഫിഗാസിറ്റി ഓഫ് ദ സബ്സ്റ്റൻസ് ഇൻ എ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്. അതുതാൻ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. ദ ടേം എഫ് ബൈ Fi0 is activity A. Activity of gas. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഗ്യാസ്ക്ക് എടുത്താൽ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻഡ് ഇസ് ഐഡിയൽ ഗ്യാസിന് എ വന്ന് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഈക്വൽ ടു പ്രഷർ എന്ന് വി ക്യാൻ ടേക്ക്. റിയൽ ഗ്യാസിന് എ വന്ന് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് പ്രപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു പ്രഷർ, sorry, it is not equal to pressure, it is only proportional to P. So and the proportionality constant எடுத்தால் you can introduce a term gamma. A proportionality sign if you are taking out, you can introduce a proportionality constant gamma, and the gamma we used to call it as activity coefficient. So what is activity is fugacity absolute value we were not able to determine. Adinala we take it as a relative fugacity. Or standard or reference irukum, and the reference matter compare panni we used to calculate the fugacity. That is what is known as relative fugacity. So that is F by F naught, which is under standard condition, and the ratio then we call it as activity. The real gas it can be proportional to pressure. So and the proportionality sign, if we are removing it, we have a proportionality constant. So A is equal to gamma F. That gamma is known as activity coefficient. Now reference state or standard state. So fugacity calculate பண்ணும்போது there is, we cannot determine the exact value. அதனால we used to compare it with a standard state. அந்த standard state fixed for solid, gas and liquid, and the state then we call it as reference state or standard state. ഒരു ഗ്യാസിന് വന്ന് how it is defined as, it is defined as that state in which fugacity of the gas is equal to unity. Fugacity of the gas unity ആകുന്ന அந்த இதுதான் we call it as standard state. അപ്പോൾ A വന്ന് Fi by Fi naught. So fugacity 1 ആയാൽ A will be equal to 1 because both the things will be 1. ഇനി state liquid എടുത്താൽ standard state of a liquid is the pure state of a liquid at 1 atmospheric pressure at any temperature. Pure state, liquid in a pure state, we take it as standard state, and at that condition also F fugacity will be equal to fugacity of the standard state. So activity will be equal to 1. And if for a solid, the standard state of a solid is the pure state of the solid at 1 atmospheric pressure at any given temperature. A solid in a pure state, it does not contain any impurity. அப்படியுள்ள substance in the fugacity is what is the standard state, and அந்த stateil வரும்போது A will be equal to 1 because Fj will be equal to Fi naught. அதனால it will be 1. Okay, so A it is the fugacity of the substance divided by standard state. So inga this will be same, so it is equal to 1. So these are the topics what we have covered in unit 1. Once again I'll tell the topics along. So first we have seen Clapeyron equation, its derivation, application. Then we have seen Nernst heat theorem, third law of Nernst heat theory. We come to third law of thermodynamics. What was third law is for a perfectly crystalline solid at 0 Kelvin, entropy will be 0. So adin we calculated residual entropy, absolute entropy. Then we went for the partial molar properties, Gibbs-Duhem equation, variation of partial molar property, partial molar free energy with respect to temperature and pressure. Then we have seen what is fugacity, what is activity coefficient, then reference state and standard state. Then we have also done the derivation of Van 't Hoff's isochore and isotherm, that I have made you to write several times, so I am not going into that. What is Van 't Hoff's isotherm is delta G is equal to minus RT ln Kp, and from that we derive an expression delta G2 by T2 minus delta G1 by T2 is equal to delta H by R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2, that is isochore. So these were the one with the thermodynamics. Study well these topics. So with that we are going to finish unit 1. I think that I have covered all the topics and we have done several numerical problems. Try to do the numerical problems. If you are doing the numerical problems, the topic nalla thorough. So collect lot of numerical problem questions, try to solve yourself. Next class we will go to the unit 2, which is electrochemistry 2. Okay, thank you.